Hey everybody, welcome tonight. We really appreciate you joining us, or maybe you're watching the recording. I am Debbie Walton. I have been in the fitness wellness business so long, I don't want to tell you, but I'll tell you it's 41 years. And I've been studying nutrition for 35 years. And I've got to see so much more information come out, such empowering information. It's a great time to want to be healthier. I wanted to learn more about nutrition so many years ago because I was thinking about having a family, and my mom had a heart attack at age 29, and you cannot play around with those kind of genetics. My dad dropped dead at 53 of a heart attack, and all maternal and paternal, as far back as we know, died too young of heart disease, heart attack or stroke. So what I found out is that the power of our diet can trump our genes and protect us from all chronic diseases 75 to 85% of the time. We can't totally trump everything, and we can't escape toxins and that kind of thing. But what if you could improve your odds of staying healthy, reducing your risk of cancer, heart disease, dementia, Alzheimer's, even cold and flu, with something pretty simple? Wouldn't you want to know about it? And so I found out about fruits and vegetables encapsulated almost 16 years ago now. This is the 10 fruits, 10 berries, 10 veggies, and now this incredible, amazing plant, all plant-based, no fish lost their life for our omegas, plant-based omega blend, and we're going to talk about that more in just a minute. But my sister was introduced to this, and when she had extraordinary results getting off of her 2-year daily dose of medication, heavy anti-inflammatories, in just 2.5 months, I was shocked into looking. I had resisted looking. If you're skeptical and thinking, I don't even know if I want to know about this, I just hope you'll hang on for about a few more minutes to see what I learned. I was super skeptical. I thought it was a multivitamin with fruit juices thrown in. By the way, there is a knockoff at a big superstore that they want you to think that they have a nutrition facts label, that they're a whole food, but you turn that thing around, it says supplement. This is literally, these are 30 plants and 6 omegas, but I'm going to just talk about the plants right now. 30 vine ripened plants. They contract with the farms. They have to vine ripen, and that's when most of the nutrition is packed in, and that's part of why these little capsules deliver such a punch. But that's a big part, that they're vine ripened. But the bigger part is that it's the variety. There are 10 different plants in each capsule, and the nutritional research is very clear now that it's the variety, that all those thousands of phytonutrients, like there's been discovered 400 nutrients in an apple. They think there might be as many as 10,000 in just a simple apple, maybe 15,000 nutrients in broccoli. But those nutrients all work together to make each nutrient stronger. And if you're missing some of the nutrients, then the ones that are there may not be able to do their job at all, because they need the others. They're called cofactors to go through all the chemical reactions needed to use those, like calcium. You need many other nutrients for the calcium to be absorbed by your bones, and calcium supplements at best 2% will get into your bones. Where does the rest go? Well, now they're saying possibly calcifying your arteries, and calcium supplements are raising the risk of a woman having a heart attack by around 30%. So I want to get my calcium from food. So they take the vine ripen, they chop them into a slurry, skin, seeds, and all. That's why it's called Plus, when's the last time you ate a raw elderberry? Ugh, they're very sour. You pretty much can't eat a raw elderberry. Not a lot of them, not every day. And then when's the last time you ate an orange peel? About 80% of the vitamin C is in the peel. So if you want maximum nutrition, you want the entire plant, skin, seeds, and all. And then talking about, and you can get them in fabulous gummies too. We keep these as a treat. I eat them, want a little snack, pop 2-3 of these gummies just as a snack, and you'll be satisfied, and you're gifting your body more plants. You can't, there's no diminishing return. You can't overdose on plants. You can't overdose on this. We had a 2-year-old eat almost a whole bag, and the mom called poison control before she called her rep, and poison control said, "Don't worry, Mom, it's just food. It's got a nutrition label." And so expect really good bathroom habits from him, but he is not hurt. And where do I help get my calcium from? This, I call this my secret weapon. This is the powerhouse shake, not just for calcium. Don't misunderstand me. This has 13 grams of plant-based protein, 4 different proteins. Just like you need a variety of fruits and vegetables for maximum health protection, you want a variety of amino acids so your body can pull the protein amino acids it needs, and you get this fabulous, very satisfying, long-lasting, muscle-feeding shake. And it has 8 grams of fiber. There are not, I don't know of any other smoothie mixes, there may be, but that have 8 grams. But what's really neat about this this fiber source is it's one of the preferred fibers for your gut bacteria. I know that you have heard recently, it's just in the headlines news all the time now, that the gut is feeding our brain and determining a whole lot of are we depressed or anxious? We can lessen that through nutrition. The science is there now. It's one of the most exciting areas of science to me. There's actually a school of psychiatry now called nutritional psychiatry. So not only do I want to prevent dementia and Alzheimer's, I want to stay happier and reduce my risk of depression and anxiety. And so that gut feeding fiber is given the gut what it needs. And then all this phytonutrition is also feeding the brain. But the complex carbs in here, they're so energizing, but it's very, very blood sugar stabilizing. It's fabulous for a diabetic. It's also fabulous for taking your cravings away. You put this shake together with the capsules, the trio, and maybe the omegas, and in 2.5 months, my husband, who was addicted to sugar, he was addicted to Coca-Cola and candy bars, and I tried for about 15 years to help him get a handle on that. I had pretty much given up. He said, "Debbie, why are things starting to taste too sweet?" And that was the start of a new man. I could not believe that this guy eats so many plants now. When we first got married, and until Juice Plus, he would barely eat a little broccoli. He didn't like many vegetables. But when you flood your body with plants, you don't even have to taste them. Then what the cells are made of is what they crave. So we hear it all the time that, wow, my kids ask for a salad. Wow, my husband asked for second helpings on those vegetables. So it's pretty powerful what the body will do with Juice Plus. And then the fish, not zero fish, the plant-based omega, we go straight to the algae. Fish get their omegas from algae, and there's a lot of problems with processing that algae from the fish, like rancidity, toxins from the ocean. So Juice Plus got a really brilliant idea. it must be all those fruits and vegetables they eat every day. But they said, why don't we just go straight to the algae? This also contains sea buckthorn berry. That is a really not well enough known plant, and it is a powerhouse of nutrition. And I've heard this from several people, but it happened to me since I started taking the omega. After about a year, I noticed that I didn't need my readers to read the same devotional that I used my readers for years before the omegas. What's so cool about that is what is good for the eyes is good for the brain. So I'm really thinking this is protecting my brain, and the research is coming out soon. But what about that research? Really quickly, I'm not going to go into depth. I've got a recording that goes into depth on some of these, but when those remarkable results happened to my sister 15 years ago, I told my husband, I'm looking at this. I've never seen a product do that for someone. And I was giving people lists of fruits and vegetables to eat to try to get them to reduce the ravaging symptoms of inflammation, which it links arthritis and cancer and heart disease and dementia. And even kids with autism have very high levels of inflammation in their brain. You want your inflammation low because it will cause problems. This study right here, University of South Carolina, showed that, by the way, that's where I went back to school to start working on learning more about nutrition so many years ago, fabulous school, showed that it brings down total body inflammation 17 to 38%, you guys, in 2 months. If you understood how inflammation is the silent killer and links all those scary diseases, like when you get when you have allergies, which is an immune dysfunction, not autoimmune, it's an immune dysfunction. We're going to talk about immune system in a second. And those allergies are chronic. It creates this inflammatory process, which creates asthma. So, and if that asthma isn't gotten under control, it can become chronic disease of bronchitis twice a year, and even worse. I'm not even going to tell you the things it can cause. But this immune system study, what I do with it, everybody wants their immune system functioning correctly. Autoimmune disease is overactive immune function. And someone getting strep all the time or tubes in their ears all the time is underactive immune. And this University of Florida study, published in the top journal for registered dietitians, proved that Juice Plus brought the immune system into better balance by over 30% in 77 days. 30% better function, not overactive, not underactive. I'm going to share one more with you, and then, we've got 38 published studies. More studies by far blows every other nutritional product out of the water. If you're comparing nutritional products, ask for primary research. You won't find one anywhere near 20 studies, not 5 studies. We have 38 and 2 more in the works really soon. Top journal for cardiologists proved that Juice Plus greatly helps the arteries open up, become more flexible when you need more oxygen and blood flow. It helps with nitric oxide release. And with my heart disease, and the number one reason that most Americans will die too young is heart disease. Did you hear about that actor having a massive stroke at 51 like 3 days ago? I can't recall his name, but that's way too young, you guys. And then if you want the ultimate experience, ask about our aeroponic tower garden. Grow your own produce. Look at this. In 3 feet of space, this holds 20 gallons of water. This was invented at Epcot. And you plug it in, and it waters itself. It feeds itself. There's no weeding because there's no soil. It grows from, look at that. I don't know if you can tell, is that seedlings? Yeah, little tiny seedlings to this, you're harvesting some of the plants, lettuces and such, in 3 to 4 weeks. And it just keeps pushing out for months and months. You harvest the edge of the lettuce and it just keeps pushing out. There's nothing like the flavor. You'll save tons of money growing your own produce, and you'll never have an E. coli recall. And I just want to share with you super quick, when we got on Juice Plus, I was taking it for prevention. I was 45 years old. I was at the top of my game. I'm trying to see what time it is. And I didn't think I'd feel anything. In 2 months, I was outrunning my running partner. She threw her multivitamin away, got on Juice Plus, and caught up with me. We've been running together for a year. My husband's joint pain went away. His taste buds changed. He lost 35 pounds in the first year. It's not weight loss, it's get healthy. My skin improved. I never in my life got compliments. We have a skin study. You guys, I am 60 years old. I have wrinkles, but nothing like if I wasn't protecting my visible organ with the greatest protection, super simple, that I've ever seen in 35 years of teaching fitness and nutrition. My hair came in as thick as pre-menopause, and I breezed through menopause. Ask me about that, the shake. And so I'm going to turn my daughter's eczema went away. Our allergies went away. I know there's more, but I want to pass this on to a young mama that's had some extraordinary results within her family. Megan?
Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in on this call tonight. We appreciate you taking time out to hear what we have to say, but also for yourself. Just keep that in mind. You're doing this for you. So I just wanted to touch on a few things about what my family has experienced and where we were. I was introduced to fruits and vegetables in a capsule 4 years ago. I'd actually been introduced like 9 years ago, and I dismissed the information. I wasn't ready to receive it. So it's all about your timing and when you're ready to take that simple change and the next simple change for your family. But finally, I heard it and I got it. And my girlfriend said I was having a mommy kind of meltdown moment with her, and I was tired of my kiddos being sick all the time. And we were that family who had gone through the tubes. We had gone through lots of strep throat. The antibiotics, he was becoming, I can't even think of the word, but antibiotics weren't working anymore. Like he was resisting them. And so finally we had the tubes put in. Now, looking back on it, I'm like, well, I wish somebody would have said, what are you feeding him? But that never happened with us until the girlfriend thought enough about me to share it. And I'm super, super thankful for that. But also what we were experiencing is that my daughter had that underactive immune system, and we had extreme allergies, the entire family had, but we had to keep the nebulizer on hand all the time. So think about the amount of inflammation that was in her body, and we were keeping the albuterol treatments because we needed that steroid to bring that down, and we were using that all the time. And not only were we on 3 different allergy medications and different antibiotics at all times, and then the steroids, we had a Miralax prescription. And how many mamas out there struggle with Miralax? It's unlimited. So, but when you know better, you do better. And thankfully, it was shared with me, and we went home and we looked at, I'm not a research person, but she was like, go look at the research. And I kind of looked at what I thought I knew, which was like the summaries, this is what it does, because that's all I need to see, bullet points here. And the thing that caught my eye the most, and as mothers, I think that we don't think about ourselves, and we put our children first. And I think parents in general do that. And when I saw that with an adult's order, a child got it at no cost, I thought, well, wow, this will be great for me. But my girlfriend did not know is that my family has a huge, huge background in cancer. My mother's had a double mastectomy. My mother's only sibling was diagnosed with breast cancer at 28. She died at 32. My dad's mother has had ovarian cancer. Several of my mother's aunts have had breast cancer. And I needed to do everything I could to prevent. So just like Debbie with the heart disease and doing, everything you can to prevent that. There we go. Debbie's showing the research right now for the MD Anderson. But when I saw the results for that, and I saw that MD Anderson, a trusted cancer institute, was giving it to their patients, I was like, this is the real deal. So here we are 4 years later, and I can tell you that we are 100% antibiotic free. We are 100% prescription free. I knew that allergies was what everybody said was the first thing that they kind of, that's where they experienced the relief at first. So I did not refill our allergy medication. And here we are 4 years later. We have not done one breathing treatment. We have not done any allergy medication. And I am just super, super thankful and blessed that a friend thought enough about me to share that. And somebody thought enough about you to invite you to this call tonight. And I wanted to say one more thing before I got off, because Debbie talked about the tower gardens. My family has 2. We started out with 1, and we fell in love with it. My husband loves it. I know Debbie's husband loves the tower garden as well. But surprisingly, my husband talks about it all the time. He's like, now the tower garden is what I can get into. So I think he likes it because it saves money on the grocery bill. But we loved it so much, we got a second one, and we eat off of it all year round. We bring it in during the winter time, put grow lights on it, and grow in our garage and send it out. So it's all about how to consume more plants, how to just fuel your body with better fuel. And that's it. And I didn't really realize at the time that there was a correlation between the way that my family felt and what we were putting into our body. They're beautiful machines. You don't put oil in your gas tank. Let's stop putting crud in our bodies. So I'm just really thankful for this community. And now Sherry's going to share a little bit about the mission behind this amazing product, because we truly are a mission driven company with a heart. So thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Megan. That's awesome. I love hearing your story. And you're right. I think it's easy for us to overlook some of just the basic things that we experience every day because it's just so common, but it's really not the way we were designed. So again, thank you for sharing. And I am so grateful that someone shared Juice Plus with Megan, because when they did, they also offered her our incredible opportunity with the mission that we have of inspiring healthy living around the world. So Juice Plus is a company that has been around for a long time. We actually are almost 50 years old. We are 49 years this year. And the actual Juice Plus products that we are talking about that Debbie shared with you had their 25th anniversary last year. So this is a product and a company that is tried and true and has absolutely zero plan on going anywhere. And that was a really important piece of the marketing plan and the decision making for me when I decided that I wanted to do a little bit more. So I am a wife and a mom of 5. So when we started with Juice Plus, I still had 4 of my children at home. So when we said yes, my family definitely needs more fruits and veggies and berries because we ate very few. We were definitely part of the statistic that Debbie shares of how few people are actually eating green leafy vegetables or anything green for that matter. So when we got started, I needed to do just a little bit more, and that was to pay a measly $50 to own my own business because I wanted Juice Plus for everyone in my family. So for me, it was, well, how can I offset the cost of my own product? So when I started looking into things and I found out that the Juice Plus company said, Sherry Snyder, or whoever it is that you are, you can have your own business for less than $1 a week. I was like, this is brilliant. Not only did they tell me that I could have my own franchise ID number for $50 a year, I could also do as little or as much as I wanted. And that's exactly what I was looking for. Like I said, I had 5 children. I was working full time. My husband was traveling. The last thing I needed was something else to have on my plate. So when I found out that not only was I going to earn back my $50 immediately, but I could do as little or as much as I wanted, and there was this incredible plan in place, I said, might as well. I had absolutely nothing to lose. And that is how it still is today. For $50 a year, you can own your own business. So when I first got started, initially it was just strictly I wanted to offset the cost of my own product. I knew absolutely nothing about nutrition. I knew I liked to exercise, but that was really about it. And I just needed to know that I had a team of people that were willing to lock arms with me and help me through this entire process. It was, here's where you are and here's the next step. Would you like to do that? And it was a simple decision. And then as soon as I made that step, is, well, would you like to do this one? So very quickly, instead of just offsetting the cost of my family's product, it began to pay for it. And then, I mean, literally, it probably took me about 2 weeks to say, okay, this is legit. I can actually change this into a real business for me. I didn't have to, but I wanted to. So a few years ago, I actually was able to quit the job that I had and make my mission of helping other people with their health, and actually also helping people with their financial needs as well. It became my part-time, full-time income. I have actually been a stay-at-home mom for 17 years. So when I said I had a job at the time, I did. I left my career 17 years ago. So I was just in a mode of finding something to do that allowed me freedom. I wanted to have my children's hours at the schools that they were attending, because it was very important to me to be able to have that flexibility to do the things that they were doing, to be the mom that was sitting watching my son play baseball, or cheering on my son who was playing tennis, or watching my other sons play football, or whatever sport they happened to be involved in. That was very important to me. And so working at a school gave me that, but it still really wasn't as fulfilling as I had hoped. And I was able to then quit that job because I was able to double my income with the Juice Plus company. And not only do I have that freedom still to watch my son, who at that time was in high school, is now a professional athlete, to go travel and watch him play, and still watch my boys that are in high school, watch them play football. But now I'm actually able to make a great income and take care of my grandson 2 days a week. I don't ever have to ask anyone for time off. And I am able to operate my business from this little guy right here. So I can have that peace of mind knowing that I am contributing to my family. I am helping my family get healthy. I am making an income. I have time flexibility. I have the freedom of doing whatever it is that I need to do. And we never know, just last thing I'm going to say before I hand this over to Krista, is that we never know what's in store for us down the road. And it was about 1.5 years ago that my husband, who was definitely the primary breadwinner, gave me a phone call and said, my job has just been terminated. And it came from absolutely nowhere. We did not have a financial concern up until that day. My income was actually paying for my children to go to college. My dream has always been that they can graduate from undergrad debt-free, and to be able to walk out of those doors with their diploma in hand and have a clean slate. And very quickly, the money I was setting aside for college had to be used for our bills. And I am so grateful, because at that time I was 47 years old, almost 47, been out of the workforce for 16 years. And all I could think of was who's going to want to hire me? And I didn't have to do that. Instead, I was able to continue to do something that I have become passionate about. And we didn't have to move. And then, so something that I thought was going to be like my plan B actually became my plan A. So when all of that was taking place, the other piece of Juice Plus was the friendships, the community of women and men that I had met who had become so important and dear to me that they were able to lift me up in a very difficult time. And that is why I get to now introduce my friend Krista, who was one of those important people at that time. And she is going to share a little bit more with you about our incredible community.
So, hey y'all, I'm Krista Hawkins, and like these lovely ladies, these are my friends. And you know, the craziest thing about this is that I did not know them 8 years ago when I was introduced to Juice Plus. And I'm a mom. I have 2 teenage girls now, 16 and 14. And at the time, you can imagine 8 years ago, I was trying to get better nutrition in our bodies. And we have an amazing, awesome health journey that I would love to share at some point. Yet tonight, I want to talk to you about the community of people. because when I started on the products, we had these amazing results. But more than that, we had a community to plug into. And I did not know what I didn't know until I got in to this community, and they shared with me on how to replace this peanut butter with that peanut butter. And I started to learn how to read labels. Who knew? Who knew that marketing lied to you? I didn't really until I got into this community. And the women and the men in this community are uplifting, and they're powerful, and they wrap their arms around you and help you achieve whatever goals you might want to achieve, as far as like the business or whatever it might be. And the coolest thing about our Juice Plus community is that we do a lot of cool events around town. So we have big name speakers that come in, doctors that come in. We also do some smaller events in home. And I learned how to build a salad in a mason jar, which has been a go-to for me, and get to hang out with some friends. But the biggest thing and the biggest blessing, and I just praise God for this, is that in 2017, in the fall, my dad was diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer. And, at that time, of course, we went into, some shock, and then we went into, well, we've got to fight. And who better to fight? My sister joined this mission in the Juice Plus community, and she and I met an amazing woman who is a PhD dietitian who specializes in fighting cancer with nutrition. And so I would have never known her. I would have never known what to do, not one iota of what to do when it came to fighting cancer through nutrition. And so my sister and I contacted her, and she ended up working with my dad all that year. And he was fighting hard, which was amazing through a nutrition standpoint. He had surgery. He was diagnosed in October. He had surgery in March. And, about 8 weeks later, they do a PSA test. And at that point, the cancer was completely gone, which is really amazing. So, we can't promise things. We certainly can't promise that you're going to grow a red cape and start flying because you start taking Juice Plus. What I can promise you is that you're getting so much good nutrition in your body. You are giving your body a fighting chance. You have a business that is just incredible with really no risk. You have a community of people that will help, love, and support you, and will wrap their arms around you. And in fact, our company is one of the biggest contributors to St. Jude. And, many of us who are in the company have fundraised, for St. Jude, and we run or we walk in Memphis for that big run. And when you see Juice Plus billboards all over the city, and you see and hear doctors and children, yelling out, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much." You have this sense of pride, and it's so big what this community does provide to you and for you. So I'll end with this. Someone that loved and liked you enough to invite you to the Zoom, and we're so glad that you joined us. And if you're watching after the fact, we're so glad that you pressed play. And we want to encourage you to get with that person that invited you to this. If you want to learn a little bit more about this nutrition that Debbie so eloquently shared with you, with that brain that she has, just incredible. If you want to know more about that, get with that person. If you want to know more about what the product does inside the body, and you want to hear more stories, or you want more research, or if you want to know more about this incredible business and what it can gift to you and to your family, get with that person. And we are just so thankful and grateful that you've taken a peek. So with that, I'm going to give you back your evening. So good night, everybody.
Thank you.